Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Becky D, live in the morning, 5 days a week, 7 a.m. You guys, you already know the drill. I feel like I'm just saying it over and over again. So we all have times where we're running a little bit behind, right? But it's starting to, become a problem for some people and for some businesses and for some relationships and stuff like that, right? I don't know how many of you all have ever had an opportunity to take somebody out on a date, go on a date, whatever the case may be, whichever role you were in on the date. Let's just say it like that, right? And for some reason, your person was late. Maybe they was 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late, sometimes an hour. Now, if they were an hour late, I hope it was due to traffic, okay? Literally traffic. The unexpected car accidents always happen when you thought you left in plenty enough time, and reality sets in, you should have left 2 hours early, right? Um, Even with employment, tardiness starts to become a problem. They start to notice it. They're like, hey, you were late all week. What's going on? Some jobs, they're just straight up like, I don't know how to say it in a nice way, but they're straight butt heads. And they're just like, well, we gotta dock your pay, right? Excuse me. So there's businesses that are just automatically go straight for full gusto and do that to you, right? And then sometimes we're behind on bills and they only so nice. They nice like probably the first 2 times and they'll be like, oh well, it's okay. Take your time. They really don't say you take your time, but in a nicer world in our head, they say take your time. But sometimes we run late, right? What do you do? No, but see, no one knew or understood where I was going with that, right? What do you do, right? In your work, do you go ahead and notify your team, your manager, your crew, whatever the case may be? Do you say, hey, I'm going to be running a little bit late today, and I wanted to inform you so you could alert the masses? You know what I'm saying? Working in education, we typically work in teams, right? I can send a quick text to my team and say, hey, I'm running a few minutes late due to traffic, whatever the case may be. Sometimes I don't tell them because it's none of their business. And they'll make sure that, they get my kids set to the side or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it's little things that they're able to do in order to make sure that everything is taken care of. Now, in a relationship, I might want to save that one for last. Let's go back to the financial part, right? That's a little easier to take nowadays. When it comes to bills, right? If you go ahead and let them know, talk to them, notify them or whatever, sometimes they're able to push a payment back, right? Um, I have a bad habit of forgetfulness. I will put it on the calendar. Apparently, I wasn't putting it on the calendar right. I would, put it little memos everywhere around me. And it just, whatever I was doing still wasn't working. Let me just say that, okay? Whatever I was trying to be efficient at was not being efficient. Um, so I would still forget. And it wasn't like I wasn't paying months on it. And it was just like, like a day, a week or so late. One of the businesses actually caught on and realized that I wouldn't remember to pay unless they notified me, like if they reminded me, right? So what started to happen was they started to call me right before the payday. Not the payday, but the date that was due. And they were like, hey, this is just our courtesy call, wanting to let you know that your payment is due tomorrow. And I would just say thank you. And sometimes I would pay it right then and there over the phone, right? But I started to appreciate that because that was that courtesy call, right? So it was like, hey, you guys notice that I suffer from forgetfulness, okay? And it's starting to not only affect me, but you guys as well, because you're the one with my account doing stuff for me, right? So you're being proactive as well. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I tried it all. I wrote it down on a whiteboard. I I put it in my calendar on my phone. I make little notes everywhere, and it still doesn't help. I don't know what it is, and maybe I just really don't like paying bills. Who knows? But it was that courtesy call Same way with my courtesy text message, right? Guess what? In the relationship, if I know I'm going on a date and I'm going to be running a little bit late, guess what I can do, y'all? I can send a courtesy message. I can do a courtesy phone call. I can let the person that is awaiting my arrival know my ETA, my estimated arrival time, right? Actually, that's EAT. Anyway, but I can let them know approximately how much longer it's going to take me to get there, right? I can let them know, like, hey, I'm not leaving you high and dry. I'm just stuck in traffic. I woke up from my nap late. I'm still getting dressed. I don't know which colors to pick out. To me, also, that starts a relationship off very honest, right? It's not making you look bad. They may tell you, you can crack some jokes about it later, like, man, you might even break the ice and start with the joke. Like, I probably really should have like started getting ready 2 hours earlier than I expected, right? I probably should have really left the house an hour earlier, checked my GPS before I got on the road. It's the small things like that that make the biggest adjustments. Okay. It sets the tone for the evening and it helps recover that lost time that you may have had. And next thing you know, you're sitting there in the restaurant, at the movie park, wherever you go, for an additional hour or additional 2 hours. You've lost track of times because now the person that was steaming mad at you is now a little bit more relaxed and open and willing to talk to you. All right. We all run late sometimes in our life, whether it be financially, work, or in a relationship. It is truly up to us to get that verbal communication out and make the masses aware, that courtesy call, that courtesy text, that courtesy, flag or whatever, and let them know that you will arrive, you will make that payment, you will be there sometime in the near future, but there is something that is hindering you from doing that right at this moment. There's nothing that's going to be hindering me from doing this right at this moment, but I felt like somebody needed to hear that today. All right. Your word is your bond, and just make sure that you keep it at all times. Because sometimes people will say, yeah, I'll still get you, and it'll be 2 months later. My name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning, and I will definitely be talking with you all tomorrow morning.